Welcome to the History Lord. You join me here, and the Embankment just down there, and this is Northumberland Avenue, and we're going to be talking about this this green thing behind me. This is a Cabmen shelter. There's only a handful of them left, or two handfuls actually. There's about 13 of them left in London. That's more than two handfuls, isn't it? Who's got 13 fingers? But there you go. I'm digressing.
People might.
Some people might. You never know.
Yeah.
Anyway. What was I saying? Oh yes, we're going to be talking about Cabmen shelters today, and here's their story. Roll VT. Welcome to London. In the 19th century, hansom cabs were all the rage. Now, if you were riding in one, you'd sit, as a customer, you'd sit inside the carriage, but the poor humble cabbie had to sit on top, exposed to all the elements and, usually in need of a pit stop or two for a hot drink or something a little bit stronger. It was in January of 1875 a newspaper editor called George Armstrong, who was the editor of the Globe newspaper, became slightly upset when one of his servants came back and said that all cabs are unavailable because the cabbies were seeking shelter in a nearby hostelry to avoid a blizzard. Quite sensible in my opinion. Well, his response was to call together some very like-minded people, and one of them was the Earl of Shaftesbury, and they created a charity that was there to erect purpose-built shelters so they could provide non-alcoholic drinks and hot food for the cabbies. Now, between that date in 1875 and just before the start of the First World War, there was about 61 shelters that were built across London's streets. They cost around £200 each to build, and the first one was in Acacia Avenue in St John's Wood, which was very convenient for George Armstrong because it was just round the corner from his house, so he could always call a cab. All Cabmen shelters looked the same. They had the same characteristics. They were all shed-shaped, and this was due to the Metropolitan Police saying that they had to be situated on a public highway, and they couldn't be larger than a horse and cart. They've also got, they had the same wood-burning stoves inside, so therefore they had the same chimney-type vents on top. And they all had to be the same colour, and that's strictly enforced. And believe it or not, the colour has its own name. It's actually Dulux Buckingham Paradise No. 1 Green. So there you go. They also had to have CSF on a garland above the door, and that stood for Cabmen's Shelter Fund. And that today is the charity that still helps to fund them. More modern cabs are warmer, and the cabbies don't have to sit on top, obviously. But they still are used today. Us mere mortals can go up to the shelters and grab a cup of tea or a coffee or a quick sandwich, but those who have done the knowledge, I refer you to a previous video on the channel, they can actually go inside and sit down. I think there's only seating inside for about 8 or 9 people. So as mentioned right in the introduction, there's 13 of these left, and if you want to know where the 13 of them are in London, all Grade 2 listed buildings, then James is going to flash up a map just about now. Pause it, have a look. There we are, all done, lovely, back to me, wonderful. Thank you very much for watching. Do hope you enjoy these videos, and if you do, please subscribe, tell your friends, etc, etc. And if you want to see what we do outside these videos, please go to historylord.co.uk, see about a walking tour of London, or have a look for James's channel, and that's called Last Line Films. Take care of yourselves, and we'll see you very, very soon. I wonder if they serve coffee.